Hi everybody, welcome back to Cooking at Home with Fiona. Today we're going to do some lovely homemade scones, but we're going to give them a little twist. So we're going to do some orange and poppy seed scones. So for our scones, I always use the Odlums brand of flour. I'm using self-raising flour, but I just think the Odlums is a far superior quality of flour if you're making pastry for scones. And like, I am so long, at it now. I'm speaking from experience, and I know there are a few cent extra, the Odlums, as a comparison to the branded ones, but I do think it's worth it. And there's no way I'd be telling you this if I didn't believe in that myself. So, and I didn't experience it. And to just kind of give you an idea of the difference in quality, sometimes you make scones and your scones will be like hard and round, and no matter how little you handle them or how much or little, it doesn't make any difference. So in here I'm going to sieve in our self-raising flour. I have 450 grams. Now oftentimes it says on the packet that it's already sieved, and which it is, and they sieve it now for insurance purposes so that nobody can say they got a string in it. But I do recommend that you sieve again, because once it's been sitting in a warehouse, maybe stacked 3 or 4 high in pallets, it just gets compact again. So give it a good sieve, just like that. Into our sieved flour, we're going to add some butter. And I have it nice and soft there. And we just rub it in. There's an old rule of thumb that you never get the flour above your knuckles. So when you're rubbing in your butter, just like that, with the tips of your fingers, you're not using the palms of your hand, because the palm of your hand is warm. So always get into that habit. Even though it's not pastry, just use the tips of your fingers and lift it up a little bit again. Oh, you're also adding in air into it. Now, so once we rub in our butter, we're going to sweeten it with some caster sugar. We're going to raise it up a little bit with a round teaspoon of baking powder. And we're just going to give it a little 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Just like that. It's a background flavour. That's Jemima outside the door. He's in his box. It's a pet lamb we're rearing here. And she's in her box outside the door. She's very jealous now, she's not getting the attention. So into that also, I'm going to add in the poppy seeds. Now, you could of course use any seeds you like. So I did about 2.5 teaspoons there of the seeds. So with your hand in the shape of a claw, just like that, we'll mix it all together. But as I said, you could use any seed. I actually might add in a few more poppy seeds there in there. Just like that. Just bring it all together like that. So now we're going to zest our orange. And a medium-sized orange. Now I know oranges can vary all right a good bit, so we're just going to give that a little zest, just like so. Okay. So that's our little orange zested. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to juice our orange, and we just cut our orange in half, just like so. And we're going to add the juice of our orange into our buttermilk. And the reason I'm putting in the sieve is so I'm able to catch the pips, and I don't want the pips, the way you'd be going around trying to catch the pips. So that sieve is just sitting there in the buttermilk, so that's why you can kind of see it's kind of been diluted. So, and it is so hard with oranges, some are really juicy and some are not so juicy. So you'll know yourself. If you get an orange that's not terribly juicy, put in a second one along with it. So we just lift up our sieve and just press out any juices that might remain in the bottom. Don't want to waste anything. So that's our juice done. Now I did add in there some Kerrygold butter. I do think it gives a better quality of a mixture scone as well. So in here we're going to add in our zest. So basically that's all our dry ingredients in there. So just give it a little stir around again to incorporate our zest. And then we make a well in the center of our mixture. Okay, and then we're also going to add in, we're going to use some we are going to use one of our lovely Clown Farm free range eggs. We've always had our own hens here at the cookery school, and it's something we've grown up with as well, so it really is a lovely treat in the morning time to get up and go out and collect our eggs freshly laid. So we just lightly whip in our egg into our buttermilk and our juice, so just like that. It's kind of really just to break up that egg white. So we've made the well in the centre of our scone mixture, and we just pour in our mixture like so, and again with your hand like a claw. Now you could, some people don't like putting in their hand, they use a spoon, or some people use a fork, but we just gently bring it all together just like so. Okay, and just once it starts coming together, so we're just gently squeezing our mixture together to get the flour, and this is where it's so important that you don't over mix it and don't be too tough with it. So I'm just kind of gently just pressing it together like that, just to get the flour to incorporate, just like round and squeeze and around, getting my hand down into the bottom of the bowl. Do you want to come in there, Michael, and just show them there? So I get my hand into the bottom of the bowl and give it a squeeze, and again just turn it into the bottom of the bowl and just squeeze, because down in there, you see the way it's trying to dodge us, so we want to get that up. So just be mindful of that piece on the bottom. So I think that's pretty well mixed there. So onto a lightly dusted, now lightly, I do emphasize lightly dusted, and just a little bit of flour on top. We turn our dough mixture out, just like so, and just scratch out any of the remaining dough that's in the bottom. Okay, so this is where we don't start working it like this. We more shape than anything. So you see the way I'm just shaping it there. Now I do want to try and smooth, so I'm using that part of my hand just to tuck it in. We pat down the top and just tuck it in again. So just making sure. So now what I'm going to do is, I can't emphasize that enough, the way I've handled it there. I've just kind of dumped it out and shaped it really. I didn't need it. So we just lightly roll over with our rolling pin. You could use a bottle, you could just use your hand like that, but generally I'm using a 2.5 centimetre cutter here, so just a little bit less than the height of the cutter. It's 2.5 centimetre that way in diameter. So with a little bit of flour here, we dip in our scone into it, the mixture. And we also have here a lined baking tin with parchment paper. Just one second, I'm just going to move these out of the way. So when you start to cut out your scones, always start at the outside, because if you start in the centre, you'll have more to re-roll. And when you re-roll your dough, you get a tougher scone. So once you go down, go straight down like that. Don't go down twisting. Go straight down, just like this. Right down, and very quickly. And then you give it a little twist, all right, to get it out of there, and it'll fall out in your hand. And that's the reason why we flour our scone cutter. So we just do that again, right down, and don't put your hand right on top of it. So as it's going down, the air needs to push up, because if you cover it like that, the air can't push up. So right down, just like that, and a twist. And we'll just do that once more, we'll demonstrate that. And again, staying to the outside of your scone mixture. So as you can see, I have very little left on the re-roll. So I take my final full scone, okay, and then just bring it together again, like the same principle as already, and just kind of shape it into a ball. And I wouldn't bother using the rolling pin there. Now I might only get one scone here. Yeah, one. And will I get another one? I will. Yeah, that's one more. And I may get, I just flour my hands a little bit better, I may get another scone out of this one. And I wouldn't worry too much about them cracks, because the lightness is the scone. Yep, so we get another little scone. So That's evenly spaced there on our baking tray. So now I'm going to just brush the tops of them with a little bit of milk. You could use egg if you had, but I just don't like, for this amount of scones, to be cracking a whole egg. I won't use all the egg. So in a lot of cases it ends up, you know, people say like, oh, it's left in the fridge and it doesn't get used. Now if you do have any leftover egg, use it in your scrambled eggs or brown bread or something like that. So just a little bit. You could use your fingers if you didn't have a pastry brush. So that's just a little bit of milk. And then on top of that, I'm just going to sprinkle over some poppy seeds, just on top. Again, you could use nibbed almonds, mixed nuts, nibbed pistachio nuts, walnuts crushed up in your scones. You know, with scones, they're so versatile. So they're going into a preheated oven, 200 degrees, of 15 minutes. So now I'd say our scones will be ready. Oh, they look lovely. And voila. There we go. So just switch off the oven. And absolutely gorgeous. Just lightly golden there. So we'll just transfer these onto our serving plate. And of course you could let them cool down on a wire rack if you wanted to, but I just want to show you here for the little bit of a demonstration. So that's it. And then just get a little bit of icing sugar. And we will just sprinkle it on top. Just light little dusting on top. Just like that. Doesn't that look lovely, Michael?
Lovely.
Would you eat them scones?
Can't wait.
Can't wait. So that's all from Cooking at Home with Fiona for this week. Our recipe will be attached with the link. So the sun is shining out. Grab a picnic table, grab a bench, grab something outside, make a few scones, homemade lemonade, elderflower seed is upon us as well. So get outside and enjoy the outdoors. So bye for now and stay safe. Thank you. Bye.